Behind new quarterback Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs look like a contender in the AFC. Photo by Hali. Getty Images, by John Clayton September. 10 at 11:10 a.m. The opening Sunday of the 2018 NFL season featured an epic comeback along with standout performances from three quarterbacks that nobody has paid much attention to this offseason. But we'll start this evaluation of Week 1's biggest winners with a look at the pairing of a QB coaching savant with one of the most talented young passers in the league, one that adds a very intriguing wrinkle to the AFC playoff race. The Kansas City Chiefs faced a big challenge in their season opener, playing on the road against a Los Angeles Chargers team that many are predicting will steal the AFC West title away from them. There's good reason for the Chargers' hype, given that they won 9 of their last 12 games last year. Quarterback Philip Rivers looked great in the preseason, throwing to a receiving core that one scout has said rates among the best in the league, and the defense is loaded with playmakers, although standout pass rusher Joey Bosa missed Sunday's game with a foot injury. There was also reason to believe the Chiefs might take a step back this year. They traded starting quarterback Alex Smith, an MVP candidate a year ago, to the Redskins to clear the way for 2017 first-rounder Patrick Mahomes II and lost playmakers Derrick Johnson, Tamba, Hali and Marcus Peters from their defense. Aaron Rodgers showed again Sunday night just how ridiculously good he is. Then came a 256-yard, 4-touchdown performance from Mahomes in a 38-28 Chiefs win. The young QB was considered raw coming out of Texas Tech's air raid offense, which notoriously hasn't translated college stars to NFL success. Not anymore. He made plays, and he did it with his legs, Reid said after the game. He did it with his throwing. He did it with his checks. He's just at the beginning of things. This was a Chiefs team that won a division last season and features some of the top offensive playmakers in the league in tight end Travis Kelce, running back Kareem Hunt, and do-it-all wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who scored 3 total touchdowns Sunday in a breathtaking performance. It appears they have a dynamic quarterback as well, one who is thriving under one of the best offensive head coaches in the league in Andy Reid. It's only 1 week, but the Chiefs didn't look like a team ready to be passed over in the AFC West. They looked like a legitimate playoff contender in what should be a captivating divisional race among the Chiefs, Chargers and the Broncos, who were another of Week 1's big winners. Case Keenum lost his Vikings job to Kirk Cousins, but he earned a big win Sunday. In the Broncos' 27-24 victory over the Seahawks, Keenum looked like a great fit for Denver's offense. His ability to get rid of the ball quickly worked perfectly behind an offensive line that's going through a rebuild, and with a receiver duo of Demaryius T and Emmanuel Sanders that is still very dependable, but not as likely to lift an offense on their own now that each is in his early 30s. In one game, Keenum fixed enough. He completed 16 passes to Thomas and Sanders for a combined 198 yards and 2 touchdowns, as part of a 329-yard, 3-touchdown performance. But he also showed his limitations. He's great on checkdowns, quick reads and throws inside the numbers. But he struggled throwing downfield against the Seahawks, tossing 3 interceptions. After his third pick, Keenum was clearly angry at himself. While the Broncos' defense was on the field, he grabbed a few players and started throwing passes behind the Broncos' bench to re-energize himself. "A couple of bad reads, just trying to make the big play when we don't have to," said Keenum, who only threw 7 interceptions all of last year with the Vikings. "I think 2 of them were on first downs, another one were in another 2-minute drive. Move the ball down the field, and we've got 3 points in our back pocket. That takes 3 points off the board, then the other 2 they scored on. That's 17 points I'm responsible for." Keenum's strong start only helps build excitement for the Broncos' home Monday night game against the Chiefs on October 1. What more can we say about Aaron Rodgers? The first half of the Packers' thrilling comeback win over the Bears looked like a torch passing in the NFC North, with the Chicago offense resembling the Rams of a season ago behind new head coach Matt Nagy and second-year quarterback Mitch Trubisky. Superstar edge rusher Khalil Mack was outstanding in his Bears debut, and the team looked very much like a playoff contender, while a knee injury that required Rodgers to leave in a cart made things seem very dire in Green Bay. 6 big takeaways from a thrilling opening Sunday in the NFL. Then Rodgers came back to put up 21 fourth-quarter points. "I am playing next week," he said after the game, referring to an upcoming divisional showdown with the Vikings. Believe him? "I was doing sideline reporting during a Seahawks-49ers game in 2016, when Seattle quarterback Russell Wilson suffered a more serious medial collateral ligament (MCL) sprain than the one Rodgers likely had Sunday. I watched the doctor press down on the knee and Wilson let out a scream. After a few minutes, he tried to walk around to shake off the injury, but doctors kept him off the field." Wilson never missed a game the entire season, but his mobility was affected. All of that is to say that, while this is not an insignificant injury, it's one that Rodgers is likely to be able to play through. That saves the Packers' season, and his remarkable save against the Bears Sunday night sets up a great game with the Vikings and Cousins in Week 2. Joe Flacco knows how to respond to a challenge. You may recall how he turned down a long-term deal from the Ravens and came back the next season and won the Super Bowl several years back. He responded this offseason to the challenge created by the Ravens' first-round selection of Lamar Jackson by having his best camp in years, and then opened the season with a 47-3 dismantling of the Buffalo Bills. Beating the quarterback challenge Bills won't impress many, but the Ravens showed off an offense that should be enough to earn them a playoff spot this year. Last year, despite issues at the wide receiver position, Baltimore posted a +92 in point differential, which should have translated to a 10 or 11 win season as opposed to its actual 9-7 record. General manager Ozzie Newsome has given Flacco a nice 3-receiver set this year in Willie Snead, John Brown and Michael Crabtree, and each had a touchdown reception Sunday. The Ravens' defense is great at stopping the run, and overall this team should be good enough to challenge the Pittsburgh Steelers for the AFC North title. The best performance of all of Sunday might have belonged to Tampa Bay's Ryan Fitzpatrick. When Jameis Winston received his 3-game suspension, everyone speculated the Buccaneers would get off to an 0-3 start and Dirk Koetter's job would be in jeopardy. Fitzpatrick completed 21 of 28 for 417 yards and 4 touchdowns in a 48-40 victory on the road against the New Orleans Saints. Next, the Bucs face the Eagles, who will most likely without Carson Wentz, and then the Steelers, who might not have Le'Veon Bell back. The Bucs said before the season they haven't decided if Winston would automatically hand him the starting job in Week 4. It doesn't take a Harvard graduate like Fitzpatrick to figure out that, if he takes the Bucs to a 2-1 start or better, Winston might have to wait to get back his job.